From my YouTube video yesterday, I stated you need to draw this line on your chart around 47,570. And I said in there, while Bitcoin was still in this trading channel, I said it needs to come down and use it as support. And it's fine if it comes below it, then comes back above and uses it as support, but it needs to be used as support. On the way down, it tried to use it as support, failed it, then use it as resistance, resistance, support, resistance, sort of not a convincing support, then support, now support. It's the exact line that I was telling you about, right? It's the exact one. Price is now using it as support. Now, price has permission to go back up. So before another pump, basically in that video I was saying, short-term time frame, it has to come check this line. Something I talk about a lot within my Discord is focus on the 4-hour candles. If we're trying to figure out, is this going to bust up now? So going back to the 5-minute chart and comparing that to the 4-hour candles, which is what I've already done for my Discord community and their update and the Cryptillion tier within YouTube. And again, on my YouTube videos, there's a join button below. If you want to, if you click that, another video will pop up describing, what the tiers are about on YouTube. But anyway, to decide, is this going to pop up now? On the small time frames, it looks like this area of support is going to, it's given it permission to go back up. But if you flip to the 4-hour chart, so sometimes you have time frames that are married to each other. I often like the 30-minute and 4-hour or the 1-hour and 4-hour. The 5-minute and 4-hour go together pretty well. They make a good couple. Flip to the 4-hour, it's a red candle that has an hour and a half left. See over here? See where my arrow's pointing, this red stuff? That is important to pay attention to. This is very important what I'm about to say. And it's something I drill on Discord and I drill to myself. It's very important. Taking a long, if you're doing day trading, like trying to take 2 trades a day or something like that, taking a long off of that second support here on the 5-minute chart, it could be a good idea, but you would probably want to, move stops up and take profit quickly because that 4-hour candle is red and it has an hour and a half left. So the momentum of that candle, it could flip green and go crazy in the last hour and a half, but it's on a candle structure. If you study them, you study 4-hour candles just over time, it's very unlikely for that to happen. And so I'm marrying the 5-minute chart to the 4-hour chart, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, would I want to long off of this signal? Take this moment to give me a quick thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check out the Discord community within the description section, follow me on Twitter at cosasverdes with the number 2 afterward, and if online communities are not your thing, but you want exclusive content above and beyond what I offer on YouTube, click the join button right below this video. Another video will pop up describing your options to you. Because the 5-minute chart's bouncing on it, right? Go back to the 5-minute chart. I was enticed to so I'm out in my office right now, but I was enticed to run inside my house where I have my trading stuff set up on a personal basis right now. Right before the live call, I almost took this trade, and so this is going to help you live this with me. I almost ran inside and longed this on that after this first candle, but I flipped to the 4-hour chart and said to myself, nah, not quite yet, because even if the next 4-hour candle is a big fat green one, it's probably going to wick down to this line or very close, and that will be your higher low. So the next 4-hour candle, even if it's green, it'll have a wick, and as it creates that wick, if you go to the 5-minute chart, what that'll look like is that wick could be your higher low. So in the meantime, price could make a higher high too, but price would be more likely to go like this, and then the 4-hour starts. And a lot of times it's common that price on the 5 minutes really high as the 4-minute is starting, and then it comes down to make that wick, and then it flips, and then you have your nice green wick, because you rarely have a bare bottom 4-hour candle. So I would expect something like this to happen, or if it comes down, comes back up right at the beginning of the 4-hour, comes down right after the 4-hour starts, and then goes. That's what I'm looking for. Or to even hit this again. It could just play around and go like this as the 4-hour starts high, and then comes down and touches this and then goes, and then that 4-hour candle that just started will flip green. It'll start off red, creating its wick, flip green. That's what I'm looking for. And I feel that what I'm saying, as we're looking, for example, within the Discord community, I don't do that necessarily because it's not live for the Cryptillion tier on YouTube, but within Discord for the higher tiers, we go over that type of stuff specifically when we're hunting good positions. And then a lot of the folks trade by themselves, they trade with groups within the Discord, but when they chat with me, it's more for a second second pair of eyes to finesse it and get a better idea. Okay, how do I make sure I don't get stuck in this trade or get wicked out? You know, how do I increase my probabilities of just I get in and boom, I'm straight in profit? That would be, you know, I'm giving you one, you know, then this is very short-term time frame stuff. Mid-term time frame type of stuff, and again, this is something I've already put on to my daily updates on Discord and within the Cryptillion tier, and I'm glad I left that arrow on there on accident. Take a look at this arrow from February 9th, roughly. I'm on the 4-hour chart, okay, RSI. Watch this. You had a pump up to a major double resistance level. You had the point of control from a macro range and the monthly 10. Big pump up, a decent sized correction, then a higher high. But look what the RSI did at that higher high. The RSI, the 4-hour, got way up in here in the green zone, several 4-hour red candles, and then the RSI came up and kissed. Here, let's zoom in there a little bit more. This is around February 9th. So this is February 7th, February 8th was red, and then February 9th it popped back up and made a higher high in price. Typically, if the 2-hour comes up and kisses the green, it's not necessarily a higher high in price. But when the 4-hour goes below the green zone and it kisses the green zone, that's almost always on Bitcoin a higher high in price. But if you go to the lower time frames, it's not necessarily a higher high in price. Sometimes it's a lower high. Therefore, on this 4-hour chart, it's still way in here. Bitcoin is not done with this move. And even if Bitcoin ended up having 3 red days, okay, does that make sense? Because that last one in pretty much all price history, as the green squiggly line comes out of this green zone and comes up to kiss it, that's a higher high in price. And look how high it still is in the green zone. Even if you have 4-hour red candles, you know, the next time Bitcoin gets to breathe and it just goes, and it takes a breath, this is going to come up and it's in the green zone. That's a higher high. And then it has a couple more red candles or whatever, and it takes a breath, and it comes up and kisses that. That's another higher high. So there could be 2 more higher highs unless Bitcoin just falls off the face of the earth and hits 46K, which could happen, which really isn't that big of a deal. It would just come down and kiss the bottom of the point of control and then take its breath. And that could happen too. And you'd be able to see that on the 5-minute chart. Again, marrying, so these are a couple. You would easily be able to see price come below that yellow line, which I asked everybody to draw in yesterday, use it as resistance, and then start going about like that. That would be your warning sign that, Bitcoin has to test this. It's going to be, 1 or 2 red 4-hour candles. But the next time Bitcoin breathes, that would be a big, big long signal, really, because the next time Bitcoin breathes, it's probably going to break this high. And that's going to be a big move if it were to do that. I'm not saying I'm guessing it's going to do that, but if that were to happen, it's in the permission of the 4-hour chart. So on the 4-hour RSI, if it were to come all the way down to 46K before making a higher high, it would actually, if I could take a fractal of February, where was February 9th? I'm going way too far back. Here, if I could take a fractal, it would look like this. Price would, 2 4-hour red candles. This would completely fall out of the green zone, take a breath, make a higher high. And therefore price might actually align with that. Let me take a fractal from there on price. I'm actually kind of curious to see if I take a fractal and I match the highs here, will this touch the point of control on current price? I almost think it will. I think it'll be really close. Let's see. I could be wrong, but let's figure this out. Watch. Because the RSI is so similar, therefore price should be pretty close to being similar. It actually would go lower. So I matched the wick high to the wick high. And that actually goes below the point of control, which I doubt would happen. But it still made a higher high thereafter. You see that? Because the 4-hour RSI came up and breathed and touched or kissed the bottom of that green zone. Bitcoin could easily come down to 46K and be totally healthy, make a higher high. And that would honestly be a fantastic signal. And the whole point of this is that the 4-hour chart is saying there's an extremely high probability that there's going to be at bare minimum 1 more higher high. Bare minimum. And even if there is only 1 more higher high, and then you get 2 to 3 green days, the other time frames, such as the daily signals, the 12-hour signals, they would reset after, I would say 2 to 3 green days for a 1, 2, 3 candle pullback. And then you could easily get those time frames. What they're indicating is Bitcoin still can make another higher high after that. But before that pullback of 2 to 3 red day candles happens, Bitcoin is at least going to have 1 more higher high. And that's what the charts are saying. Is it definite and guaranteed? No, but it is statistically extremely probable. It's a very, very strong probability. And you know that I've been, a lot of my YouTube videos recently, as Bitcoin, let's go to a different time frame. As Bitcoin was doing all this stuff right around here, I kept saying, hey, this is really choppy. There are no good probabilities. I think y'all heard me say that. I kept saying your guess is as good as mine because it's just choppy. And a lot of people made comments on my channel. Perhaps folks knew, even though I maintain I'm still midterm time frame bearish, and then one day I'm short-term time frame bullish, another day I'm short-term time frame bearish. And wait, you were just bullish yesterday? Yeah, on the short-term time frames. Unlike this choppy stuff, I think the probabilities of what's going on right now with price, I think the probabilities are extremely high. And therefore, if you were a part of a community that trades and doesn't just invest and hunt for altcoins, which is partly what that's about half of the function of my Discord community. But if you're in a community that actually clicks around fairly frequently, this is the type of information, this is the type of environment you would prefer to trade in, because the probabilities are just that much higher. So this is a really good environment to trading in my opinion. All right, what else do we got? Let's see here. Yeah, and again, my guess on the 5-minute chart is I think a local higher high could be made, but Bitcoin will either come back down right around the next 4-hour candle or touch this line right around the next 4-hour candle. It could happen in the first 10 minutes of the next 4-hour candle, which again happens, look over here, 4-hour, I'm on the 4-hour chart, happens in an hour and 10 minutes. But that's what I'm looking for on a personal basis. I forgot to mention targets. Higher high, it's got to go over this. It doesn't have to. You would have a pump over 48.3. From a structural standpoint, where this would go, either, and this is something I mentioned within my updates as well, within both Discord and the Cryptillion tier of YouTube, I said one of two things could happen. This area is like a house party, right? If you're inside, you're partying. If you're outside, you're not cool. You're not one of the cool kids. You're not at the party. This is in the party, right? Bitcoin left the party. The question here is, will Bitcoin come up to the door of the party and get flat out rejected? Okay, and that would still be a higher high because that would be over this. Will Bitcoin come up to the party's door and get rejected? Or will it be invited back into the party is the other part of the question. Now, there is a third though. It could be that Bitcoin gets invited back into the party but finds resistance within. So maybe the reason he left the party because he got mad at somebody, and then Bitcoin goes back into the party and says, you know what, I made the right decision the first time, I'm leaving again. And that would be getting back into the party but finding resistance within and then falling out. And then if that were to happen, you're probably going to have a 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3 daily candle pullback. If you were to see that happen, most likely that would be my guess. If it entered the party and came back down to this line, you'd probably have a couple 1 to 3 red days. If Bitcoin gets rejected by this and comes back down, it could just form a higher low before it then tries to get back into the party. Something like that. But that's going to be the big question in my mind. Will it join this? Will it get back into this trading channel? Or will it be rejected by it, or get back in? And that will help you determine how high this next move will go. And again, the 4-hour chart is permitting 2 more pumps easily. Okay, so it's going to be extremely statistically 1 more higher high. The 4-hour chart is easily permitting 2 more before a daily, like a 2 red days. A normal pullback and a healthy run up, you need 2 red days usually. Some, during extreme moments where you have Elon tweeting about crap, sometimes only 1 day, then the next stuff pumps. I don't think that's quite the environment. It could happen, but that's why I would say 2 to 3 red candles before that happens. You're going to have 1 to 2 more pumps, at least. And it could be 3, but I'm kind of doubting it'll be 3 more higher highs. Again, it's going to be 1 or 2 more higher highs before you get 2 red days, or at least 1 red day. All right.